Hi, I'm Katie Nemeth with AliYah Academy, and I'm here to show you a little bit about our new app that we have. You could get this on a phone or a computer. You just saw I was on my phone, and I went to the app that I've put on my phone, and it takes you to the Learn page first, but I wanted to start on the home page. So here we are, and you'll see first the featured list. It talks about the things you have in this app, the Roots 6-week course, the timeless textbooks, the literature guides, unit studies, fun songs, lots of other things, and then a community support section where you can talk to other people in this app. Now, here is where you would purchase it. This is the full price. If there is a discounted price, I'm going to show you how to get that when we get into the app. These are some frequently asked questions. You can find them on the home page. Now, down at the yellow section at the bottom, you'll see it says home and our beautiful logo. I'm going to go through this really fast because there's a lot in this app, and there's a lot to get through, and I know your time is valuable, and I want to just show you real quick what's in here. So we're going to go to the Learn section, and right there at the top, you're going to see Homeschool Hot Topics. This is free for everybody. Anybody can get in this section. We want anyone to be able to homeschool, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is the next section down is the Roots method. It's the 6-week course. That is for parents to be able to very in-depth learn how to homeschool. I'll show you that in a minute. Seedlings is for our youngest ones, everything from pre-K up to 2nd grade. You can find resources in there. Upper elementary is about 3rd grade to 5th grade. Granted, you can go up or down depending on what you need. We have middle school, obviously, and then high school is at the bottom there. So if you have a struggling middle schooler, you're welcome to go down into upper elementary to get some resources out of there. Or if you want something more advanced, you can go up a level. You have access to absolutely everything in here when you get the full access method. So full access membership, sorry. So here is the Homeschool Hot Topics section, and we have the Homeschool 101 Basics. This is for anybody, anywhere to watch these videos to find just the basics of how to homeschool. This is the high school section. Sorry, I skipped down there. They aren't in here right now. We just launched last week. By the time you're looking at this, you might see that. And but those are really tailored. The high school ones are very much tailored to our AliYah Academy umbrella school. Talks about our graduation ceremony, what our credit requirements are, but they can help you also in that. We also have a special needs section and then some more previews. But these have check your laws, how to take care, think about schedule and attendance, an generalized overview of curriculum and some methods there. And we'll be adding a lot more videos to this. So this is something we're very excited about to share with you. Here's what it looks like inside one of the modules. Hi, I'm Katie Nemeth with AliYah. And there is me that will tell you all about how you should check your laws. That's what that video is about. And every state has different laws. So if you press the complete, you're going to get some confetti. And if you're not a registered member, it'll kind of prompt you to, it'll keep track of your progress if you pay for a membership. But you don't have to in this section. You'll have access to everything. If you are a member, you will be able to keep track of that. And you'll see that down at the bottom on that yellow strip again that you can't see right now, I don't think. But in your profile, you'll be able, right there on your profile on the far right, you'll be able to see your progress and the things you favorite and the different lessons you've been doing. So we're going to go down to the Roots method, this 6-week course for parents. This is to help you homeschool confidently. And I did notice we were working on this today, and the week 6 is at the top. I got a couple things jumbled up as I was trying to work on a few things. But right there in getting started, anyone can get to this, even if you have a free membership. February 26, 2026, I want to point that out. That is when we're going to be doing the live course of this class. And if you're a founding member and you've registered, you will be invited to do the live course. You don't have to. You can wait till it's recorded. But after it's recorded, it'll be in this section here. This is Rooted in Purpose. This is the first week. There'll be a video. There'll be some worksheets. We encourage you to get a binder, and these are the worksheets here. There's a cover, beautiful Roots Method cover, and then the first module's worksheet. And each week you'll get the next worksheets for each week. And this particular one is going to help you with your goals and your purpose. We also have a this is where the video will be after it's recorded. Right now it'll just say, we'll send you a link if you're a founding member. And then the reflection there is really important to us. That's when we're going to ask you, did it serve its purpose? And of course, I wrote absolutely in mine, and I gave me a 5 because I thought we're going to do a great job. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to rate it and answer that question. Tell us if there's anything that should have been better. That's going to help us get better. So really encourage you to do those. The other week's lessons are Order Your Days, which talks about schedules. We really help you plan and schedule. Week 3 is Origins of Learning. That's going to dig deep into the foundation of learning and how you can use that in everything. That's what our literature guides are based on. It'll help you use those later if that's what you choose, or make your own. Week 4 is Teaching as a Lifestyle, how you can look at everything as education, and also use our unit studies. That's going to really dive deep into our unit studies. And then week 5 is Strengthening Your Family, and just how to build community, how to bond with your family better, how to use your time well. And then week 6, of course, is up at the top, which will be at the bottom. And that is the harvest moment. You can see the theme going on here, kind of like a tree garden theme. And we're just going to review everything in that last week. So let's move on to seedlings. I know I'm going pretty fast, but we got a lot to cover. This also, I noticed my modules were out of order. The welcome obviously is supposed to be at the top, but you can see Blueberries for Sal there. We're going to jump right into it. There's a learning guide and a story time video that you can watch me read that story. Here we go. So I will, read that story, but you will also be able to read that story to your child. And then this is the guide. You can see it's 85 pages. It is huge. It covers everything. I'm not going to show you all the pages. It would take way too long, but it's going to cover everything from your phonics and your alphabet and tracing and, hand-eye motor skills, especially those small motor skills, working on those, all the way up to like writing sentences. We go into grammar and nouns and prepositions and in a fun learning way. Okay. So there's like some games. You're going to definitely need a printer if you're using this app. Okay. If you don't have a printer, it's not going to be, really beneficial to you. Cardstock would be good for some of those fun games that you might want to keep or have them last longer. Paper is fine, but cardstock would be a little nicer. And then we have math in this, everything from learning to count all the way up to skip counting, where they're starting to even touch on multiplication. So pre-K to second grade is our goal for these. There's a lot of fun geography. It goes into Maine, this particular one, and science talks a lot about different science concepts that they've pulled out of the topic of the books. Super fun. I can't say enough. These are wonderful. So, so much packed into that. All the subjects integrated around Blueberries for Sal. 4 of these literature guides come out a year. So you've got Blueberries for Sal, Oxcart Man, Ping right there. That's going to be about China, and The Snowy Day. These might not be in this order, but those are the 4 for the year. Your timeless textbooks and that Start Here and timeless textbooks would be at the top. Again, they all got out of order on all of the things, and I will fix that as soon as we're off this video. But I want to show you these timeless textbooks. They are amazing. It, again, is another huge guide. You're going to have, telling about it, and then right there, you got Ray's Primary Math. It's an older math, original old math book. And then the new guide to the English tongue, 1740. This was originally written. Chastity Coleth did an amazing job revising and editing this. She also combined it with excerpts from the New England Primer. Let me see, where is that? There it is. Excerpts from the New England Primer and it's been revised and edited, and she's added workbook pages. So you can teach your child to read with this book. We're also going to put some videos out how to use it better, but there's reading, writing, spelling, and grammar. This is only 272 pages of a huge 800 and something page book. So we have broken it up into sections. So this is just, we called it NET, New England Tongue Textbook, Part 1 of 1. So you'll see in the other sections where we put the other ones. So you're going to get 6 science guides. We're into the unit studies now. And these are the 6 science modules that will come out through the year. The first one's the scientific method, but then you'll also get art, 6 unit studies modules. We've done them around the world. There are 1 on each country. We've done a fun theme there. And then there's an aquarium class down there, but we don't have any of that yet. That is to come. So we'll just not touch on that yet. So here's how they're set up. You've got what's it about. There's the guide. There's some extra forms on this one. You've got a fun song and then 3 science experiments. So this is Miss Michelle. And then we have a fun song here. I'm going to give you a little teaser with this song. Now you'll be able to read the lyrics. This is just a little tidbit of it.
When you see a mystery and want to know why, you start to wonder, give it thinking a try. The first step to learning, it's really the best. Ask a good question and write down your guess. Ask a question, make a guess, do an experiment, clean up your mess.
Okay, that's super fun. You just got to hear the beginning of it. We just love these songs. You're going to just really have a fun time. It's hard for me not to sing along with them while I'm doing this recording. So here is the guide. This is one of our smaller ones. This is only 6 pages. There are extra science forms. I believe it's 11 pages on those. So, you'll get that. This one has more hands-on science experiments in it because it is the foundation of all the other science units. So it is teaching really well the scientific method so that you're prepared in the other units to be able to do those things. So yeah, here is the extra forms. Yeah, there's 11 of those. So you've got 17 pages in this guide, and it all is very straight to the point on that one. And then you have the science videos and the song, and that's how every unit will be set up. And let me go to art here. This one's around Australia. This goes real depth into the culture, the animals, just everything in here. There's a fun song. You've got the guide, the song. You've got some templates in this and some examples of the art. And then we've got 3 videos. Okay, so that was Miss Michelle, and there's 3 videos. She goes on to introduce it and explain it, and then I do the video with my kids in that one. I don't know if I'll do them all. And then here is the Australia guide. It is 73 pages. Did you see that? This is another very large guide we have. It's got so much packed into this. First of all, there's like a banner you can print out on some cardstock to have a party, lots of decorations around Australia. But then it goes into, I think there's at least 2 artists from the country. We try to do some real folk art and get the culture in there. There's the history and the government and the nature and the cities and, of course, the Great Barrier Reef, all those things about Australia and the facts about them are in there. And plus then there's like some fun activities to do, a lot of writing prompts, a lot of art pages. So there's just a ton packed in to this unit study here. So you'll have a lot to do on this one. And then, of course, every about month and a half, about 6 weeks, a new unit study for a different country comes out. And we really encourage you to have a party. There's a recipe in here. There's obviously other art crafts, but it's really geography and even the history. And I would say science too, if you include nature and animals. Of course, that would be even your science. And then there's writing assignments. And you know what? There's even some math in here. I remember there's a graphing, little Australian icons and little games in this one too. So just a lot. You're going to love this one. And so we're back to that. Now I notice in the top corner it says seedlings, and there it says learn. That's how you go back. If your phone has some kind of back button, don't use that. Use the one right in the app. So now we're going to go down to the upper elementary. This is like 3rd grade to 5th. Your first book is A Bear Called Paddington. These literature guides are a little more advanced for that age group. You've got your timeless textbooks again. And then the books for this one are going to be Homer Price, The Little House in the Big Woods, Misty of Chincoteague, and of course that Paddington that was up top was the first one. And those will come out weekly. Your science are the same. Your art is the same. We did that on purpose for kindergarten up through 8th. Those three grade levels are the same because we want you to be able to integrate it with your whole family. And even if you have a high schooler, you could give them some research on the country. Science is fun for everybody, so you can even incorporate a high schooler, but they do have higher level stuff. So here's middle school. Sorry, it's getting away from me. Heidi is your first book here. And then you have Hunger Winner, A Horse and His Boy, and Johnny Tremaine. Those are the 4 that we have planned for the year. The order might change. Again, your science and art is the same. And I did want to show you those timeless textbooks. I think all of those are in here. This is I'm just showing you that all those are the same. But the timeless textbooks, I want to go into this because I think they're all in middle school. Because remember that first one in Seedlings just had that part 1 of 1. This one has part 1 of 2, homonyms, grammar, sentences, fables, prayers, and then 2 more advanced raise arithmetic, and they do advance in each grade level. You have a different raise arithmetic. The New England Tongue, which is your language arts, goes all the way up to high school, and you just do it until it's finished. There's plenty to do in that. You might finish it before high school. I would hope you'd finish it before high school, but in the old days, in 1740, they did use that all the way up to high school, but you might have something else that you might want to do if your child's already writing plenty. So here's high school. It's set up quite a bit different. You've got advanced literature guides. We start with Treasure Island, and then you have some notebooking information here because they all use the notebook method, but high school especially, they're independent and you want your child to do the notebook method themselves. Timeless textbooks, yeah, they have all of those parts are in Timeless in high school, so you can use what you want. There's also algebra, geometry and trigonometry, and higher algebra. Those are very much higher maths than we're used to, so we'll have videos on those later. Your books are a little bit heavier reading. Ivanhoe and Slayer, and then Secret Garden is a nice, comfortable read. Try to get a variety there. Your science and U.S. government, they are going to be weekly video course lessons. That was Francis Arthur. There we go. So Francis Arthur has a video lesson. There will be PDFs to print out for each one of the lessons, typically, and you'll just do the lessons each week. Those are very much more advanced for high school. Rembrandt and these art.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Sky, and today I'll be showing you a few different ways how to hold a pencil, some different shading techniques, and using a study of one of Rembrandt's paintings to show you how to draw a face. Let's get started. So, there are a few different ways you can hold a pencil. Techniques. So, for instance, I often like to use the realism technique that I showed you and match it with either cross-hatching or hatching or shield shape for the front of the face. I like to think of it as a piece of paper wrapped around a ball. If you have an add, as I've done, a couple of extra lines to the top of the eye, the bottom of
Okay, so those were our art guides. I hope you realized I just quickly clicked through that advanced art lesson. I just wanted to get a taste of what that looked like. She does an amazing job. And of course, that advanced art will be art history and art appreciation and much more advanced for high school. So let me get back to the beginning here. This is the homeschool hot topics again. We're still in the learn section that you can see on the bottom in the yellow. But we also have community where you'll be able to talk to other parents that are in this app. We'll have different sections for the different age groups. Tracking, we don't have anything there yet, but you'll get to see that. Let me show you community. So right now we have the roots method where when that live class starts, people will be able to comment in there. And we also want everybody to introduce themselves, but there'll be more sections there for the different age levels so that you can meet up on this app with community. And then, of course, there's the tracking. I said there wasn't anything there. And your profile there is where it's going to keep track of what lessons you've done and everything. Now we're at the home page. So, guys, that was so fast. And there was a lot to cover. And I didn't want to make this video more than 20 minutes, but it is. And I know your time's valuable. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that gives you a good insight to what's in this app and that you can make a good choice for your family. We think it's amazing. We've got a lot coming out. That is just the very first beginning of this app. By the time you're watching it, there's probably going to be more in there. And everything that we put in there will stay in there all the way through the year. So I hope you enjoyed this. Happy homeschooling.